In this corner, we have Boxer 1, accused of staying up too late, talking loudly on the phone, and using her roommate's clothes without permission. And in this corner, we have Boxer number 2, accused of going to bed too early, eating her roommate's snacks, and never taking out the trash. You know the rules. No eye gouging, no ear biting. Let's have a fair match.
Although a boxing match might help to relieve some aggression and tension between roommates, it will definitely not solve their problems with communication. Let's take a look at some do's and don'ts of mediating and learn how to facilitate a roommate conflict without a boxing match.
Okay, break it up. Okay, so roommate mediation may be intimidating, but it's not really as scary as it seems. Here are some do's and don'ts for mediating between roommates.
Do make sure that all roommates are involved have agreed to the mediation. There's nothing worse than asking a student to come to a meeting they know absolutely nothing about.
Don't assume that everything a student says is exactly how the situation is. Remember, there are always multiple sides of a story, and it is your job to make sure that you help them through the events that are making them upset and look at things rationally.
Do set ground rules before you start the conversation. Set standards in the room, such as only one person speaks at a time.
Don't take sides. You are merely there to help with the students to communicate more effectively with one another, not to make judgments on who is correct.
Do discuss one problem at a time.
Don't let the conversation stray from the core issues. It is easy for someone to get wrapped up in telling a story and talking about how they feel, but it is your job to ask them questions that get to the root of problems and to help the students involved determine solutions.
Do be careful about what you say. Choose your words wisely because everything you say can be used against you.
Don't forget to refer to the roommate contract. If the contract was made and is mostly effective, discuss if certain parts need to be revisited to make everyone feel comfortable. If a contract was not created, shame on you. Sit down with all of the roommates and create a contract with them to better establish standards and boundaries.
Another important ground rule should deal with setting a time limit on the conversation.
Do be able to determine when there is not a solution.
You will be able to determine the issue and tone of the mediation if the roommates will be able to...
Get out of here! If at the end of your time limit there is no progress have been made, then you need to begin discussing your options and process of moving rooms. You will not be able to solve every problem, so recognize when compromises cannot be made.
So now let's review the do's and don'ts. Don't assume that everything that a student says is true. You don't know both sides of the story. Do set ground rules before the conversation starts. Remain impartial and don't take sides.
Take my side!
No,
take my side! No, she's wrong! No, I'm right! Come on, no!
Do be careful about what you say. Don't let the conversation stray away from the core issues. Discuss one problem at a time.
But she wears my clothes and then she eats all my food and then she goes to bed so late and then she never showers and she smells so bad I can't even handle it. And then she has all these pets and I don't think that that is part of school policy and I really think that something should happen about it.
One at a time. And don't forget to refer back to the roommate contract.
This is a roommate contract?
Yeah.
This is bull. And for the record, I don't smell. I do take showers every morning.
Each situation is different, and we will have different results, but keeping these suggestions in mind will assist you in developing expert mediation skills.
Speak with your residents about what they're having difficulty with individually first, and encourage them to work out their problem on their own.
Have each student write down what they would like to talk about and the problems they are experiencing at the beginning of the meeting. Have each student take turns sharing what they wrote down and use this to determine the common problems and themes to discuss first as they are affecting multiple people.
Use phrases like, I hear what you're saying, or I think what you're saying is, to determine that what is being communicated is actually how they feel.
If you want to have additional support or in a particularly difficult situation, ask to have another staff member sit in on the conversation. These difficult conversations can be tiring, and having additional brain power can be helpful.
Be prepared for different scenario outcomes by running through them with your supervisor during your one-on-one. Your supervisor can look at your problems from an outside perspective and give you some alternative solutions that you may not have thought of before.
Using these do's, don'ts, and strategies will certainly help you prepare and facilitate roommate mediations more successfully, but you can always rely on a boxing match as your backup option.